started from up north where they were at 11.
Oh.
But because we have COVID, we haven't been able to receive them in our home. So. But we're going to start tonight.
Good.
Anyway, so I've left the key under the mat. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Well, I think she's, I don't know how much progress she's making. I did speak with her, it's more than a week ago, and I've just been crazy on the net. So, I haven't give her a call. But I know that her...
She's not at home.
No, she's in the
rehab?
Rehab. And they have COVID, so nobody can visit.
Right. Now that's the one down in University.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But I didn't think she had a phone. I was told that she didn't have a phone.
She doesn't, but I can phone the floor, and if she's not in therapy, then they can get her, they can hook her. Yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, the fact that she doesn't have any of the sort of modern inventions. It does her in this book, right? No.
Aren't you going to come and join?
And I should be keeping a good distance at the moment. I'm just over things. So.
Yeah. We're still confident. No, he's trying to sit a bit separate.
Okay. Do you want anyone else?
No.
So. Okay, hello and welcome. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Friedrich Brunzema, and I'm the son of Ruth. And so welcome to this little concert in remembrance of my mother. As many of you may know, she passed away last year in February, and some of you, particularly those here in the congregation, may not have had the opportunity to come to her funeral, which was held in Fergus. So we thought it would be nice to do a little some remembering and doing it in a musical way. A couple of housekeeping things. If you can, we do recommend that you use a mask in the sanctuary. There's extra masks in the back if you don't have one. So we will hear some music with Christopher and with Rebecca. Christopher on the organ, Rebecca singing, and pieces that my mother associates her life with. So some Bach and things that she really generally liked. And we hope that you may like this as well. Christopher may say a few words to introduce the pieces to give you a little bit more context around the piece. Some of you may remember my mom was a volunteer with Rosedale Prep's boarding house ministry, and we do have some small envelopes, yellow envelopes, which you can mark Evangel Hall. That's the charity. If you wish to make a contribution, you're not forced to, obviously. It's just if you like to, there is the opportunity, and you would get a tax receipt if you provide your information on there. After the concert, we will meet outside. There will be an opportunity for people to mingle and perhaps share a short memory or tell a short story of their encounters with Ruth. If you could keep it short, that would be good. And just in passing, Ruth never really wanted people to make a fuss about her. So, as a person of faith, she thought it was very important to give God the glory first. And in this spirit, let us listen to Christopher and to Rebecca as we hear the music. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and the more local welcome on behalf of the Reverend Daniel Cho and Session and the congregation of Rosedale Presbyterian Church. Thank you so much for joining us. It is a delight to be thinking once again about Ruth Brunzema, who was a real presence in the ministry of this congregation and in the community of this congregation. It is with great pleasure that I was approached to share some music in memory of Ruth. And I wanted in particular to acknowledge and thank my colleague Rebecca Genge, who sings in the choir here at Rosedale, for joining me. The music of this afternoon is based on the idea of a Bach cantata, and that is, much of its music is taken from Cantata 52, a wonderful, not too well-known solo cantata from Bach's mature period. Ruth famously loved Bach cantatas, and so we thought the idea of singing some hymns, of hearing some music particularly dear to Ruth's heart, and also a couple of other surprises would be very fitting in this time. So the Sinfonia from Cantata 52, if it sounded familiar to you, and you're not actually cognizant of unknown Bach solo cantatas, it is also the music that Bach used to open his first Brandenburg concerto, that great masterpiece of the early orchestral repertoire. Friedrich and company provided us with two hymns. The first one we're going to sing now, just Rebecca and I. If you know this hymn and would like to join, there are words in German in the program. The English translation is poetic, but you could probably make it work too. We'll have a real chance all to sing in English for those of us that are a little less comfortable with German at the end of the program. But I'll invite Rebecca to join me, and I'm also just going to turn the level of this microphone down. The next piece on the program is a little different than all of the others. It does not date from the time of Bach, it does not date from the style of Bach, but it is a wonderful little moment of history. It is a beautiful little composition by Canadian composer Barry Cabina, which was written in honor of Gerhard Brunzema on his own passing. Gerhard, of course, has been gone from us for many years. He was a very passionate and prominent Canadian builder of organs, a man who held relentlessly to standards and to principles that he learned and took great delight in sharing with the musical world. This particular piece was premiered by Bernard Lagacé, another giant on the Canadian music scene, in the memorial service that was held at the time of Gerhard's passing. It's based on a Lutheran chorale, Schmücke dich, o liebe Seele, which is a communion hymn. It's one of the most beloved of Lutheran chorales, and it's still very much in circulation today in contemporary hymn books and in modern congregations. So with great pleasure, this is a chorale prelude on Schmücke dich by Barry Cabina in honor of Gerhard Brunzema. As our musical time comes to an end this afternoon, we will sing one more hymn. This particular hymn stood out for me. It is a beautiful hymn of wonderful natural beauty imagery. And it is something that spoke very deeply to the trio of Brunzema children that were planning this particular afternoon with us. It is a great celebration of faith, and faith in the most beautiful terms. We're told in the write-up about Ruth that both she and Gerhard were deeply drawn to arts and to music. And the expression of faith in terms of beauty is something that is very special to me and to us here at Rosedale as well. In the spirit of not making too much of a fuss over Ruth, this has been a short program designed to have lots of little things that would have spoken deeply to her heart, a heart that I was privileged only for a few years to get to know. It will end with a trio composition based on the final hymn. And again, in the spirit of Ruth, I want to invite you to get up and walk outside during it. This is something that actually doesn't happen at Rosedale, and it's one of my, I wouldn't call it exactly a pet peeve, but my congregation here dutifully sits through every postlude that I play and greatly appreciates me at the end. This particular case, I want us to be thinking not about me. I want us to be thinking not about this piece of music, or maybe not even so much about the hymn that I hope you'll try and sing along with us in the end. Let's think about Ruth. Let's move out into the natural beauty that the text of this hymn so beautifully draws upon. and let's enjoy the continuation of the afternoon.
good because it's not only all everything about the past, it's also what is today. And my father built very modern facades because he thought organs ought not to be living in the past.
You know, I had never heard that. That's we had an organ that he was very involved with at the faculty in Walter Hall, which is a very striking modern facade. And I know he was very involved with that instrument, and so I had never heard that actually as an aesthetic choice of.
Absolutely, he firmly believed in that, and that's why he was also not very much willing to make compromises on that. He thought, you know, it's kind of like it was important to build things like in the 1500s. They built things like in the 1500s, in the 1600s, like in the 1600s, in the 1700s, but in the Baroque times. It wasn't like in the 1500s, right? So it changed over the time, right? So, and he says our generation has the responsibility to do our own thing, not copy what was happening to us.
Yes, right.
So make your own, our generation makes their own statements.
Isn't that interesting? Well, that's great. That's great to hear.
Yeah, so at some point in time, I will come and bring those boxes. Okay. Come to the service. I'm getting involved in my own service.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'll try to make it after. Okay. I'll go meet here and then.
Sure. That would be great. That would be lovely. Good time.
And what did you see? Like $100 a piece for the studio?
Yes, that would be fine. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, great, Peter. Thanks.
Yep.